go.
Hi everyone, welcome to the next series of VenTalk. As usual, we have here our Fashi, John Fashi.
Good evening, everyone.
And not only that, today we have another host here joining us today, Lex.
Hi guys, welcome. It's my first time here. I'm very happy to be here, and thanks Fashi, Venerable Jonathan, for the opportunity for me to be here to share about morality. Yeah.
Yes, and of course myself, Nicholas. Okay, we are both from Wisdom United. Okay, now before we move on to today's content, let me ask you guys a question. What would you do if you found a wallet with $500 on your way home tonight? It's also for you guys also this question. So this actually brings us to our topic for today, as what Lex has mentioned just now, morality. So what is the definition of morality? Okay, it's actually the principles concerning the distinction between right and wrong or good and bad behavior. However, let's go deeper. In Buddhism, good behavior refers to virtuous actions that will cause happiness in the future, while bad behavior refers to non-virtuous actions that will cause sufferings in the future. So Lex, I'm very tempted to know, what would you do if you found a wallet that is $500 on your way home?
Okay. To be very honest, $500 seems like a lot. So honestly, I would be tempted to keep the money and use it for things that I'm interested in, like materialistic goods or like good food, buy shoes and all those. But ultimately, I'll return the money to the police post. Why? Mainly, there are 2 pointers. Firstly, when I think in others' perspectives or when I think in their shoes, the victim or the person who has the $500, right? He may be needing the $500 to, I don't know, save his dying mother from the hospital or, use it for his family members' medical treatment. And secondly, there's also one possibility that he may be using this money for an emergency, like saving his business. So if he loses the $500, his wallet, right, it may cause him to have a lot of distress. So if I'm the one who lost the $500, I would definitely want that person to give it back to me. And secondly, after learning Dharma, I realized that the suffering caused by this bad karma, if I steal this $500, it's much worse than compared to using the 500 for materialistic enjoyment. Yeah, so this bad karma will actually cause me to experience a lot more pain. So it's definitely not worth using the 500 for materialistic enjoyment.
Wow, Lex, Fashi, I think we can agree Lex is on a different level. For me, I'll probably just use it and just eat good food. $500 is a lot of good food, I have to say. Okay, so moving on with the same question. Fashi, how about morality parameters on this question?
Okay, so just now you have explained the definition. So what is paramitas? So now I'm going to tell you guys what is paramitas. So same as generosity paramitas and other parameters in the sixth perfection, paramita is to have the intention to benefit all sentient beings. So yes, that person is a sentient being, right? Yeah, so I think Lex's perspective is very good. We have to check whether the wallet inside, if there's any identification card, so that we can call the person, or we can just pass it to the nearest police post. And I think it's very good to think for the person in his perspective. So rejoice, Lex.
Yes,
thank you.
Lex. Yes, we definitely have to think for the person's perspective, because this actually trains our practice compassion too. Okay, moving on. Okay, so since we already know about the morality and the morality parameters, okay, how do we practice morality? It brings us to the next point, which is the 5 precepts.
5 precepts? Fashi, may I know what is the 5 precepts?
Okay, so the 5 precepts is no killing, no stealing, no sexual misconduct, no lying, and no alcohol intake. So to put it simply, precepts are rules set by the Buddha. We treat it as a promise we make with the Buddha so that we can live a peaceful life. So it's just like a curfew that we have when we are young. In order to protect us, our parents want us to promise them that we will return home before a certain amount of time. For example, like 10 p.m. or 8 p.m. Yep.
Wow, Pastor, you just say all the 5 precepts. I think for me is a challenge to practice. Okay, so I think since we already know what is the 5 precepts, which is no killing, no stealing, no sexual misconduct, no lying, and no alcohol intake, how do the precepts actually come about, Pastor?
Okay, so don't worry about the 5 precepts because the first 4, no, they are against the law.
Yes.
Okay, so back to 2,500 years ago, no, we sit the time machine back. So back in Buddha's time, whenever someone did something that is not appropriate, Buddha would then set the precepts to prevent or warn others from making it again. So all of the precepts are the wrongdoings by someone. So they are not just like imagination. So don't just write the precepts when he has nothing to do in his room. So the precepts are all the wrongdoings by someone. So this is very practical.
I see. How about the next point?
Okay. So Fashi, since all those precepts, right, are the wrongdoings by someone, why are they called the wrongdoings? And also, if we follow the precepts, what are some of the benefits of the precepts? Will we get a better future lives or something?
Okay, so we have a lot of bad habits in our life. So if we continue to do with all of these bad habits in our infinite life, we will have accumulated a lot of negative karma. And what are the benefit of precepts? If people observe the precepts, you feel safe around them. Do you want to be in an environment that people won't kill you, won't steal something from you, or won't lie to you? So this is the environment that we want to stay in. So we won't feel that no people are coming to harm us. And it's not just for the 5 precepts. We have even more precepts. We have 8 precepts, the monks and nuns precepts, Bodhisattva precepts, and Vajrayana precepts. So if we observe all of these precepts, we create a peaceful environment for everyone to live in. And precept does not only benefit us in the infinite life, but also benefit us in this life. And knowing the karma concept, the cause and effect, people will not harm you if you don't harm others. And furthermore, we are able to be born in the happy realms in our next life and continue to study and learn more.
I see. Fashi, I'm actually very curious. Okay, how many precepts does a monk or nun have? Can I have a number?
Okay, so for a novice monk, it will be 10, and for a fully ordained monk, it will be about 250 plus.
Wow. Rejoice to you, Fashi. 250
Rejoice,
plus.
rejoice.
Yeah, rejoice. Even the 5 is
Even the 5
challenge
is too hard.
Yeah, the 5 is very hard. So, Lex, what do you think about, just now Fashi said about a safe environment, right? What do you think about having an environment where everyone practices the 5 precepts?
Based on just now what Fasha said, right? If every single individual practices properly practices the 5 precepts, I'm sure they'll gain a lot of merits. Based on what Fasha said, peaceful environment to live in, and also these precepts will prevent them from doing non-virtuous actions that cause bad karma, like stealing, killing, or lying. So with all these merits and all the lack of bad karma, right? I'm pretty sure that the world will be a very pleasant and enjoyable environment where everyone is at peace and joyful at all times, because there'll be no opportunities for anyone to experience any sufferings. Yeah.
Wow, that's well said, Lex. And I'm sure that if let's say person who does stealing or killing, there is definitely an after effect. There will be definitely a sense of regret. It's not the end. You eventually cause an individual to have more sufferings. For example, if you happen to kill an animal, then that instance is fine, but there's after effect. You suddenly happen to think about it. Oh no, why did I kill it? There's no benefit of killing the animal at all. So definitely one really need to have a lot of wisdom to know what is right and what is wrong. Precepts on morality. There's actually another 10. So what's the other 10? Okay, the other 10 is actually the 10 virtuous actions. Okay, so before I get to the specific of the 10 virtuous actions, why does one need to practice 10 virtuous actions? Because when one practices the 10 virtuous actions, it creates a beneficial to oneself and beneficial to others too. Okay, this is who doesn't want a win-win kind of situation, right? Everybody want a win-win kind of situation, right? Nobody wants a win-lose or lose-lose, right? So win-win is always having a safe environment. I'm sure of it. So this 10 virtuous action is actually divided into 3 levels. First will be the body, speech, and mind. Okay, it's separated into 3. So let's get into the first point. Okay, so the first virtuous actions, okay, is actually no killing. This is a no-brainer, and it's also one of the 5 precepts that Fashi mentioned earlier on. So what is no killing is the basis of taking another life away. It makes no difference between whether doing it ourselves or asking someone to do it. Let me give you an example. Hey Lex, can you help me kill a person that I don't like or not?
Hey Nick, you know that if I help you kill a person that you don't like, right? Even though I would be the one experience the killing karma, you would also be experiencing the same karma because you asked me to kill it. So if the two of us experience the terrible karma of killing, you know what will happen? What? After we die, we'll go into hell together. Yeah, we'll live inside many eons and filled with a lot of regret. Because let me just tell you this, the pain in hell is much, much, much worse than the worst pain you can ever imagine on earth. Yeah. So I won't be helping you kill the person you don't like.
Wow, there's a lot of wisdom. Rejoice to you, Lex. Well done. Okay. So even the intention of killing, okay, it will already create a karmic effect. So, Fashi, what is actually the benefits of practicing no killing?
Okay, so now we are on to the happy things. Okay, so if you practice no killing, you will live a long life, and the medicine you take will have effect. And what is the most important, you will not fall sick easily. So I think this is the good benefit of not killing, because when you kill, you actually reduce the lifespan of a person, of an animal. So if we don't kill, we will increase our own lifespan.
Now, audiences who is watching this, let's live long together. Let's stop killing. Right?
And
now,
we should protect the animals and human beings.
Correct. We should protect all sentient beings. Now, moving on to the next point.
Okay, so for the next non-virtuous action, right, is stealing. So we have to avoid stealing at all costs. So what is stealing? The basis of stealing is something that is being owned by others, and the act can be by snatching or theft. So whether people engage in deceit about debts and trust, or take what is not given by other deceitful means. Whether they act for the sake of their own interests or for others' interests, like even if they want to benefit others, or whatever to harm others, all these are considered non-virtuous actions. So we must definitely not steal and remind ourselves when we become greedy or something. So let me give an example. You have a very rich friend who owns many things that you don't own. Okay? So maybe one day, out of greed, you want to take away some of his valuables while he's not noticing. Okay? Even if the friend is so rich that he doesn't mind or doesn't even realize that his items are missing, it is still counted as stealing. It's still a very bad non-virtuous action. So you must really take note of this. If you steal, right, the amount of bad karma that's gained, right, will be much worse. Okay? So you must avoid killing. So, Fashi, what are the benefits if we can control our greedy mind and not steal?
Okay, so speaking of karma just now, you will not lose your things easily. So let us observe ourselves. Do we lose our things easily? I don't know. You guys observe ourselves, okay? So, or if we create or buy something, they can last for a long time. Nick, can your laptop last for a long time?
Yes, I'm proud that the Apple product that I have can definitely last more than 5 to 10 years.
Okay. So you will also have enough resources for the things that you are doing. So yes, these are the benefit of non-stealing.
All right, moving on is the last point of the 10 virtuous action under the body section, which is no sexual misconduct. Okay, so there are 4 possible bases of sexual misconduct. A person with whom you should not have intercourse in 3 inappropriate ways: body parts, places, and times. Okay, for example, those protected by mothers are those with whom you should not have intercourse, meaning that if you have a girlfriend or that is not married yet, that is not legally married, it's best to not have sexual intercourse. Okay? Now, why? Because why we have to do this? Because we need to know about the benefits. 法师, what is the benefits of practicing no sexual misconduct?
Okay, so it's not just girlfriend. No, if you have a wife and no, you have sexual misconduct with other people, that's also not really nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you do not commit in sexual misconduct, you will have a trustworthy partner. You will live in a good condition and people around you are reliable. So yes, people won't cheat on you or your partner won't cheat on you. So I think, being in a relationship, you want to be with someone that is reliable and you can count on.
Yeah, sure. I believe Lex also definitely want to have an environment that feels that you are very, very reliable, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So everyone will have the trust in you, which is actually very good, right?
Yeah. It will definitely help in all aspects of my life.
Yeah. Because everyone will trust you, then everyone will find you to help you to maybe, for example, do work together to benefit more people, to even gain merits and benefit more sentient beings. Who doesn't want this, right? Okay, now, the next point is actually the 10 virtuous actions of speech. So,
Alright.
Lex.
Alright, so the first virtuous action of speech is to avoid lying. So lying, I'm sure many of us will know, and many of us have definitely done it before. So what is lying exactly? Lying is when an individual or recipient of the lie comprehends the meaning of the lie. So the person believes the speaker to be truthful, but what has been said is not really true. Okay? So when we talk about lying, right, most people would think that, okay, lying basically means creating a false story to achieve our individual needs. Right, that is the most common and that's one of the main lying aspects.
Yeah.
But it's not just this, okay? So let me give an example. Another one of an aspect, right, is minimization. So it's reducing the effects of a mistake, a fault, or a judgment call. So for instance, right, maybe that day my sister tripped me, and then I'm very angry, so I have an evil thought to break her pot as a revenge. Then after I break, my sister asks, "Hey, do you break it?" I say, "Oh no, it's an accident. I didn't break it." Or I broke it by accident. This is minimization and it's also counted as lying. Okay? The next one is denial, refusing to acknowledge a truth. So for instance, using the example just now, right, after I broke my sister's pot, she say, "Hey, why you break my pot?" I say, "Oh, no, what pot? I don't know what you're talking about." I mean, that's denial. It's also considered lying. Okay,
Yeah.
there's no way out of this. The other two, one is omission, so leaving out relevant information. Okay, and the last one is error, is a lie by mistake. So for example, you are blur or you suddenly go mind blank and you accidentally say out wrong information. Okay, even though this is unintentional, but it's still counted as a form of lying. Alright. So Fashi, if we avoid all of these lying aspects, what benefits will we have?
Okay, so let us think about it. What benefit do we get? Okay, we can observe ourselves. If you don't lie, people will trust you when you speak. So do people trust you when you speak? People will more likely to take your advice. I think this is very important, especially if you want to help others. It will be easier to help others and it will save you a lot of time.
Yeah.
Imagine you are a group leader and you ask them to do something or you tell them to do something and they have a lot of doubt. And you have to end up explaining something that is very simple. You have to explain for 3 hours for them to get it and for them to really accept it. So this is very important. If we never lie, people will have trust in us. So whatever we tell them, they will believe in you and they will just help you up or they will take your advice.
Nice. Okay, so we got to practice what we have to practice, which is avoid lying. Moving to the next point is avoid slander of others. For example, okay, your best friend has a new friend that he always meets, and you are trying to tell him the negative points of the new guy. So actually, this is gossiping. Gossiping is not healthy at all. Okay, you are just trying to make people's relationship, maybe they have a good opportunity, have to be good brothers or good sisters, but because of your gossip, you make their relationship, full of suspicions, which is not good. And the next example is in a situation where people are already fighting, but you continue to say things to cause more separation. In other words, you add more oil to the fire, then the fire become bigger. So this is not really very good. And another one is backstabbing. So, Fashi, what is the benefits of this?
So I think people would like to be around you, and it's easier for you to make new friends. And people around you are reliable, and you live together in harmony. So I think, no, us living in Singapore, we live together in harmony, right?
Yeah.
So I think we sort of avoid slander of others. Can we agree on that?
Yes, definitely agree. This one is a point that I definitely agree. Okay, now moving on is the
Okay, the next one is to avoid harsh words. So, what are harsh words? Harsh words are unpleasant words which may be true or false, and it's always about the deficiencies of someone else. Examples of these deficiencies may include someone's family lineage, body, ethical discipline, or behavior. Okay, so some of these harsh words, right, are commonly used due to hatred to hurt others. Okay, so you may see in your Netflix movies, some of the high school movies, right? They always include a bully insulting a victim in front of
Yeah,
others
yeah,
to
yeah.
humiliate him. You
Yeah.
know, calling out that he's fat or he has no girlfriend. You know, or scolding him without good intentions, just to make him feel inferior. Okay, so the point about these harsh words, right, is that it's often easily used in the work environment. Why? Because when in the work environment, right, when people disagree with you about your ideas, right, you usually cause your anger to rise up even without you knowing it. So you may use the harsh words without you knowing it. So Fashi, what are some of the benefits of avoiding these harsh words?
Yes, so when you use harsh words, especially superiors, yeah, they will use harsh words towards their employee. So they create a lot of fear in other person. So if you use harsh word, no, if we avoid using harsh word, we do not have a lot of things to fear about. And the land around us, the land or the road around us will be smooth without much obstacles. So yes, living in Singapore, we have a lot of merits because the roads is very flat and there's no cracks.
Correct. Rejoice to us living in Singapore. Okay, now moving on, okay, is actually the avoid of empty speech. So empty speech refers to speech about a topic that is not meaningful at all. This is usually due to our bad habits. Example includes speaking about the faults of others, like just now what we say, gossiping, or expression even like sighing. I'm sure this is a bad habit that everyone have. So Fashi, what is the benefit when one avoids such empty speech?
Okay, so for the benefits, fruits you grow will ripen during the right timing and season. Projects that you do are meaningful and there are leisure places around you like parks or pools with cold waters.
Nice. This benefit is something that we all should really take note. Okay, now moving on for the 10 non-virtuous actions, we already went through the body, speech, and lastly is the mind. So what is the first point of the mind?
Okay, so the first point of the mind is to avoid covetousness, or in simple terms, greedy thoughts. So the basis of that is the wealth and property of others. Take note, the property not just include material goods, but also the partners of others. So if you want the partner of your friend to be your partner instead, this is also covetousness, the thinking portion.
Yeah.
So the motivation is the desire to make the wealth of property your own. So you think, oh, may it become mine, and you want to put in effort, but you haven't put in, you just want to put in effort, Okay? This is like the determination that it will become yours. So for this bad karma to be completely full, right, there must be 5 conditions. Firstly, you are very attached to your own resources. Secondly, your mind wants to own other resources. Thirdly, you want to long to get the things others have. Fourth, you have an envious mind that thinks that whatever others want to own should be mine. And fifth, you do not want to be free from the faults of having these greedy thoughts. Due to lack of correct views, you don't believe the bad karma. Okay? So what are the benefits of not having these greedy thoughts?
Okay, so I think the benefit is you will obtain good and sturdy items or products, and you will be content with things that you have. And if you are content with things that you will have lesser afflictions.
Nice, yes. So moving on will be the not to be malicious. So what is this? Is the motivation, is the desire to do such things as striking others, thinking such thought as how nice it would be if they were killed or bound or their resources were ruined. So this is actually those kind of thoughts that you have in mind to actually want this person to go through obstacles, which is terrible. So we have to cut this off. Why? Because we need to hear the benefit. Fashi, please.
Yes, so we shouldn't have anger or hatred towards anyone. So if we avoid it, we will live in a peaceful environment, peaceful world. The diseases will be under control, not a lot of danger around you, such as wild animals, robbers, or even gangsters.
Now, moving on is the last point.
Okay, so for the last point,
Yes.
avoiding the wrong view. Okay, avoiding the wrong view is one of the virtuous deeds. Okay, virtuous actions of the mind. So what's the wrong view? Actually, wrong view basically means ignorance. So an individual who doesn't want to accept or try to understand the truth. Okay, so another definition for wrong view is like seeing something as not true to be true, as well as seeing something as true to be not true. So for instance, some people may not believe in karma portion, so may think that, oh, how do I be rich? Okay, in order to be rich, right, I have to steal money. I steal money from the bank, then I'll get all the money, then I'll be rich. But they did, but if they don't, that's why they must have the correct view that, okay, if I steal this money, I may be temporarily rich, but the money will be gone very quickly. And in the future, the amount of suffering I have based on the magnification and certainty of karma, it will cause me to have so much more regret. Like, oh, in the past I shouldn't have stolen it. Then now, I'm as a hungry ghost. I'm suffering for such a long time. Okay, so what are the benefits when we actually practice the correct views, like practice from the Lamrim?
Okay, so we learn from the Lamrim or our guru the correct views, right? Then we will get help or protect from other people. And things that we perceive as good and happy are the real deal, are good and high qualities. And we will, of course, gain happiness and eradicate suffering.
Yeah, I'm actually very very guilty for this point because ignorance is actually something that I personally feel that I'm very, very strong at, which is not good. I should be very weak at ignorance. So yeah, so ever since then, coming to Wisdom United, okay, is where Lex and I attend. We tend to, study the Dharma and know more about it. And because of this, every lesson that we went through, we actually benefit from it. And we clear the ignorance one step at a time, knowing what to do, what is right and what is wrong. That leads us to the main topic, which is morality. You know what is good and what is bad behavior. Yeah, so the ignorance is one of the hardest, right? Do you agree, Lex?
Definitely. Ignorance covers a lot of aspects. And to be honest, because of beginningless time, right, we all have that wrong views already etched in our brains. So we will find it very hard to practice all the virtuous deeds and think in the correct view because it's already based on habit. We always think in the negative direction.
Correct.
That's why it's the hardest.
So in short, okay, for those viewers who are happening to watch us, so if you are able to practice the 5 precepts or even the 10 virtuous action, okay, we just take it step by step at your level. Okay, for example, my level of avoiding the wrong views, I have to slowly read from chapter 1. Maybe you're already at chapter 5 or chapter 10. Just take it one step at a time. That is the most important thing. So that is our summary, which is to practice the 5 precepts and the 10 virtuous actions as much as you can. So before we end our VenTalk, we would like to hear from you. So please scan the QR code and we will be looking forward for your inputs. Okay? So it's time to end our talk. So thank you everyone who happens to watch and support us. We are very thankful. If you have any comments, you can comment in the section below too. Any questions, you feel free to input your questions. And thank you, Fashi and Lex.
Thank you, Nicholas.
Thank you to you too.
Yeah. So we hope to see you guys in the next VenTalk. Good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.